Also very glad to have you back. It's good morning, Anambra, if you're just joining us. Very good. I'm not alone in the house. I've got with me.
Yeah, it's still Chidimma around right here.
It's still Chidimma around. Well, that's cool. I'm good to have you back on this program. Upholding character and learning in the university. You will agree with me that a whole lot is really happening in the universities these days, and there are a lot of fears from the parents, from guidance, people who take their children to school, who were there, their children actually get admission into the university. There's this fear of wanting to know what their kids are doing in school, how they're doing what they're doing, and of course to come out as a very good and successful student and words in the future. Well, on that note, we'll be talking and discussing about upholding character and learning in the university. And we have some guests in the house who's going to be helping us with that analysis this morning. I'm talking about Dr. Emmanuel Ojukwu, the Director of Information and Public Relations, Anambra University. Okay, good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
And of course, we've got a pretty lady in the house. She is a graduate, Miss Blessing Okechukwu. Good to have you in the house.
Thank you very much.
Yes, upholding character and learning in the university. I'll start with you, Dr. Emmanuel. When we talk about character education, what do we mean?
It's a whole lot.
Okay.
You know that there are stages in the life of a young person. When you finish secondary education, you take the entrance examination, and you are admitted into the university. From there, the lecturers and the workers in the university take over the supposedly parental activities.
Okay.
So in the university, we try to make sure that first and foremost, we want to leave you better than when you came into the university, so that when you get back, your parents will be proud of you.
Okay, so would you say at Nnamdi Azikiwe University?
I am talking about Nnamdi Azikiwe University.
You've been able to achieve this feat you just talked about.
Yes, I will prove it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
In this program.
Okay.
And when you come in, we subject you to orientation. There are do's and don'ts. There are things we cannot accept in the university. And you must register in the medical center so that we take care of your health needs. And then we make sure your hostels are good, and we have all the paraphernalia of games in the hostel, DSTV. Sometimes when they play football, if you are in the office, still in the office in the evening, you will hear when Baka scores. It's a goal, everybody will be jumping up. So the students are good. The students are good. Now, as a student, we must make sure that after the orientation, we tell you things that you cannot do. For instance, you cannot join secret court. For instance, you cannot fight. You cannot fight physically. For instance, you cannot abuse your fellow students. You cannot abuse your lecturers. You must attend class 75% for you to qualify to write the examination.
Okay, now, if that is the case, why is it that most people enter the university? Because I believe there you're not just going there to learn, you're also going there to mold a good character and come out to become a good citizen of this nation. But then some people will go there. You mentioned that you're not allowed to join secret cult, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do examination malpractices and all that. But you find out that a lot of people, they go into university as a very good boy or girl, but when they are coming out, you see that they are no longer what they are. They are even worse than the kind of person they were when they entered the university. So what's the problem?
This is a very good question. There is a curve in the training of students. If 100 students, 7,000 students, we take 7,000 a year. 7,000 students come in, and there is this number 100 that we could not train, but we have trained 6,900. That is A+ for us. There are still young people who are incorrigible. There are still young people who are untrainable. Even their parents know that they are untrainable. Even their parents know. They may be smart, they may be academically smart, but they're untrainable.
When you talk about untrainable, is that really the right word, or is it because they're not conducive environment to make this?
The environment is conducive, but you will find out that no matter what you tell some students, they will still run foul of the regulation, and in that case, we send them away.
Do you believe that some students are untrainable?
Sure, I believe.
Okay, what are your reasons?
Because when we come from the home perspective, we actually see that children have different characters. From their upbringing, some children actually decide to do whatever they want to.
Now, you're making point, but I need you to speak up because the world is listening to you.
Okay. So I'm actually saying that children have different reasons why they portray different characters.
Okay.
So when you say a child is untrainable, you actually look at the fact that they come from different backgrounds. So it has to do with home training first, before you bring them to the school, and then you tell them what you expect them to do. So when a child is untrainable, it means that from home, they've been like that.
Okay. And you don't think they can change?
No, some of them can, but some of them cannot.
So if you use the word, even their parents know, what do you think is the reason why the parents will be sending an untrainable child to the university to do what?
Sometimes parents, out of frustration, push them into the school. They know. But most times we are able to bend them because we have all the instruments to make students behave well. We have all the instruments. The university is like a mini society. Okay. We have our own security. We have our own disciplinary measures. For instance, there is the student disciplinary committee that if you misbehave, we send you there. If you need suspension, we suspend you. Sometimes we ask the parents to come. Sometimes we ask the parents to come. So that when the parents...
I don't want us to dwell in this untrainable activity. But what about people that are well trained before they now enter the university and then they changed and they become untrainable? So what about them?
You know the power of the social media. There are so many influences. When you come into the university, you see the good, the bad, the ugly. We must say this. It's very important. And it is a choice. And this is why when you're getting into the university, we want to make sure that you are of university age. 18 years, even though some come in these days at 17.
Recently, we saw what happened in the jam with the 15-year-old. It looks as if no university wants to give admission to the kid.
University of Lagos may not. Maybe some other university will. Other universities will.
All right, just to let you know that this is quite participatory. The numbers are on your screen. So while you try to dial the numbers and they are not going through, they're having issues, you can just send a WhatsApp message to the WhatsApp number on your screen. And of course, you can join the conversation. We'll be here to take all your comments. And of course, there's going to be another time where you tell us what you feel about what we're discussing this morning. This morning, upholding character and learning in the university is what we're discussing. And we have Dr. Emmanuel Ojukwu, who is the Director of Information and Public Relations, Nnamdi Azikiwe in the house, and of course Miss Blessing Okechukwu, a graduate in the university. Now my question comes to you, Blessing. What are classroom strategies to adopt to help students upholding positive characters and learning in the university? Now, because you talked about lack of home training, that if the parents probably don't train the child very well from home, it will affect the child even when you get to the university. Now, what are those things you can adopt to help a child become better? All right,
before you answer that, let's read this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, your name and your location, please.
Please turn down the volume of your TV set. All right, right, cool. Let's make it easy for ourselves. When you call us, when you do call us, as much as possible, move away from your TV set, or better still, turn down the volume of your TV set so, we can have a very clear discussion this morning. Back to you, Miss Blessing. What are those things we can adopt to help students become better students or better human beings in the university?
Okay. We have to start with attendance. When we talk about lectures, our lecturers, definitely, those days when I was in school, they will always tell us, we have lecture by 7, we have lecture by 8. So what's important is, we give a specific time to those students to make sure they're in class at the appropriate time. Then we also give assignments as lecturers. Our lecturers give us a lot of assignments. Why? Because they want to see that we're intellectually sound. They want to see that we're actually up and doing. That's the importance of the assignments. Attendance, assignments, activities. There are extracurricular activities that we actually handle during the course of school. So those activities are actually very important. Sometimes, apart from assignments, attendance, we get to do some classwork, we get to do group work. That's, we work as a team. We set up teams to do a lot of things. So doing that, during the process of that, we build team spirit. We work together, and when someone, that's a student, is actually not doing well, the others motivate that student to become better. So that's what we're talking about.
What do you think are the factors that are responsible for one to change his or her character to become worse, not a bad person in the university?
The calls are tripping in. Let's take it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. Your name and location.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. You're connected. Your name and location.
Okay, I'm calling you from Water.
All right, if I am from Oka, go ahead with your contributions.
Yes, I want Dr. Jubu to help us explain how the university has been able to take care of a greater percentage of the students who are living outside the university environment, the university compound. Some of them are living off the university, and the efforts they made to ensure character in the hostel. How are you therefore taken to those who are living outside the university, which are greater in number? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
This is a very good question.
Spot on.
Very good question.
So go ahead and give an
Yes.
answer.
Currently, we can only accommodate about 25% of our students.
Okay.
And this is a big challenge to us because we know what those inside the university perimeter are doing, but we don't know what those outside are doing at a particular time, especially when they are off class.
Sure.
So it becomes a problem, and this is why we are now concentrating on erecting more hostels. We have PPP hostels, public partnership is coming up. We have projects sponsored by the federal government. They are all coming up. Already now, during the last convocation, several projects were commissioned. One of them is a hostel at our Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Agul. Another one is at Newi, College of Health Sciences. So here, two big hostels are coming.
Let me pause you there. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Your name?
My name is Chisom, calling from Oka.
Chisom, go ahead.
My name is Chisom from Oka.
Yeah, we had that. Go ahead with your question or your contribution.
Okay. Good morning, everyone in the house.
Good morning to you.
I like this contribution. I like what you guys are discussing this morning. It's very interesting. So what I want to say is that sometimes these things come from home training. University life is not that easy. Someone can be easily manipulated into the university. So when a student enters into the university, the parents also have a role to play. When you don't decide to go to university, always listen that you keep in touch with that side. So I'm just also asking, what is happening, this is what's happening, asking how it's going on. Because you always be encouraged. keep the effort, not only for the school. That's really not also when they go to the school, because just ignore them, say that spending only money, they just spend money to do this and that, they come out. So when the end of the school, they'll be really manipulated.
All right.
They're trying to tell them, forget about your parents, forget about them, they don't care about you. So they join them, don't say that it's not required to be done. After when they go, they come back.
All right. Thank you so much, Chisom. Chisom, thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Chisom. We got your point, lack of home training. Well, I just want to tell you that you can call these numbers, but the WhatsApp number, please don't call the WhatsApp number.
That is 090-2327-3484. It's for WhatsApp only. Please don't call that number. You can call the 2 below, but don't call that number, please.
All right, we will be going for a short break now. We're going into the streets to, of course, hear what people, the students, parents, what they have to say about the upholding character and learning in the universities. And when we come back, of course, we'll find out the challenges of this and the possible solutions of this. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Most likely not. Yes, the reason is this. All standards in our country today are falling, right from the top down to the bottom. So, and this affects students also, both in terms of their moral aptitude, in terms of their academics, and in terms of character. Things are deteriorating, are going from good to bad to worse, and you can't leave out students because it is what they learn from their predecessors or their superiors that they will act out. So that's just how it is.
If you really sit, you go through a university. When people see you, they know you went through a university. They'll give you a certificate. You can stand up. You can defend that certificate. But now, even parents, they buy people to take exams for their children. And when you look at that kind of a thing, you begin to think of, say, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, what's this country going to be? What's really going to happen to this country? Because it's like parents aid and abet their children that is doing wrong things. Buying certificates, buying people to take exams for them, like that. And when you issue certificates, like you see people that do maths, when they come to schools now, you tell them, you handle these children in maths. You know what they'll tell you? Mommy, something like that. That means I really didn't write the exam. Somebody wrote it for me, you know? So I will tell you that in our own days and this time around, it's not really the same thing.
I don't think so, because a lot of things has been happening. And as students, like so many things I saw these days, I don't think they upload that certificate they do give them, because of the kind of characters, and some of them are not ready to read. You see them, they parade around, they do a lot of things. Even to go to lectures, I don't think they uphold that certificate being given to them.
Because of the system has collapsed. So the students have also, they're not doing well, because the government has failed. So the students are no more doing well. You see, when you go to our universities now and other tertiary education institutions, you can see that the whole thing is not going well. Every time industrial action is not encouraging. Government should do well, at least to make the system to run very well, at least to operate in a way that it will be much interesting and much encouraging.
Also glad to have you back from the streets where the young ones and students have talked about what they feel about upholding characters and learning in the university. Some people feel that a lot of people are not upholding these characters. Some other people feel they're upholding these characters. Now let me come to you, Doctor. You heard what the whole lot of people said out there. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, like I said before, our certificate is awarded based on character and learning. And that character has to be systematic. You should not join cult. You should not fight. You should not do things that we find reprehensible. If you do any of those, we will send you away. And so the people we truly award the certificate merit the award.
Okay, that's my question. Have you been able to track this? Because you say you award the certificate,
Based
on merit and in character and learning.
learning.
Have you been able to track, the record to make sure that those who have been awarded the certificate are duly people who merit
worthy of
it
it.
in character and learning?
Yes, we do. We have different measures. At every point, you have a course advisor. And if you're not doing well, you will be told. And we have different, for instance, the HOD, then you have the faculty secretary, you have the students association. All these things are feedback mechanisms. And moreover, we have security numbers where students can report.
Well, you and I know that it could be manipulated.
What will be manipulated?
You said you have the departmental union.
Do you manipulate everything from beginning to the end?
I'm just saying, because we still have a lot of graduates that are out there, but they are not worthy. You heard them. You heard the people out there saying that they are not worthy of the certificate they are bearing. So has there been any time?
Because they are uninformed. Some of them are uninformed. Okay. I want to tell you what happened. Nnamdi Azikiwe University has close to 300 professors. And if you look around Anambra State, we supply the manpower. The VC of Anambra State University is from UNIZIK. The Provost College of Federal College of Education, Umunze, is from UNIZIK. Rector Oko is from UNIZIK. Name most of the universities around. UNIZIK is a quality university. I don't know about some others, because that private universities and maybe some other profit-oriented universities. Our university is not a profit-oriented university. This is why the school fees for one academic year is 20,100 naira.
Remember, we are not just here to x-ray UNIZIK, we're talking about universities in Nigeria.
Yes, because of what you said, that people are saying that some of those certificates are not. Well, let me agree that if we awarded 1,000 certificates, maybe 10 may have eluded our searchlight. And there is very little we can do. If we are not God, we are not perfect. But what I'm saying is that what we are doing holistically is a wonderful job.
All right, good. Let me come to you now, Blessing. A lot has been said about upholding character, upholding, good virtues from the students. Now, what do you think are the roles parents and, of course, teachers or lecturers should play in terms of helping the students become much more responsible for themselves, the family, and the society at large?
Okay.
Hello? Okay, go ahead.
Coming from the parent's perspective, when a child is being born, you instill in them some characters they should keep up with, right? Like now, you wake up in the morning, you call them for prayers. After prayers, we make breakfast. After breakfast, everybody is set to either go to school, to do this, to do that, and when we come back. So there is a process. So in life, there should always be a process. So from parents, we expect them to actually teach the children how to do things in procedures. That's, you tell them, this is what you ought to do in the morning. This is what you ought to do in the afternoon. This is what you ought to do in the evening.
Following the Bible, train up a child in the way he or she should grow, and when he grows
So, exactly, when that child leaves for the university, he or she would never depart from what he was being taught. And when you get to the classroom, you see that the lecturers will also tell you, you have lectures by 7. Then when I was in UNIZIK, the lecturers would tell us, we have lecture by 7, we have lecture by 10, and you must meet up with that. Once you get to the class, attendance is being taken. After attendance, we go back to our assignments, we go back to the lectures. You see lecturers dictating notes. Why do they dictate? Because, one, they want you to perfect some certain things. When it comes to writing, when it comes to speaking, you perfect a lot of things through dictation. So when you don't understand something, you're actually forced to ask the lecturer, please, I do not understand this. Explain. This is also a process of teaching children how to become better people.
All right. Comparing kind of graduates?
This is Unizik graduate, you can see.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, now I know you can go ahead and talk about Unizik. That's cool.
But then comparing the kind of graduates we have those days, I know when you say you're a graduate, you are well respected in the society and all that. I'm not talking about Unizik now.
Okay.
We are generalizing it right
Okay.
now. And now we know that a lot of graduates are really not upholding the character and learning of the certificate that is imbibed in the certificate they are holding. But then I know that there are a lot of challenges you are facing in trying to build character, to mold character, and help these people become better citizens when they come out from school. So we want to know those challenges.
Number one challenge is the social media information. When you get wrong information from unauthorized source, it's difficult to control. For instance, pornography. For instance, cultism. If you Google, you see all these things. And the students have better phones than some of the students have better phones than their lecturers.
Sure.
So they can, and some of their parents are also don't really care. They give them money as if they are giving, they are setting up a business for them.
So they have the money.
Yes.
Let me pause you there. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Name and location.
John Paul calling from this morning.
All right, you have the floor, John Paul. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning to such persons in the studio. I contribute to some goals this way. First and foremost, we must know that character and the learning, upholding character and the learning in university has to do with the character of the leader, that is, the lecturers, people that are involved in trying to mold character and learning into students. And if the people who are entrusted with the duty of holding these characters and learning, in order to have a better citizen, better qualities that will give what they have learned in the institution outside the institution. If that body is corrupt, therefore, it has to truncate the matter of holding character and learning to students. That is the lecturers, the management of the university. Then when it comes to the students, there are people who have come to have that character being made into them and they learn in order to be a very good representative of such institution. But because of peer group, the peer group now, they gang, they join, and the people they mingle with are people contributing to making them not begin to come to class. They can come to class. At the end of the whole thing, in the top of the section, they are all like class because they have one way or the other to and they know how the character and learning be uphold. The kind of work. The society is completely mixed up, right from the management of the institution.
All right. Thank you so much, John Paul.
John Paul, your line is muffling and we're not really getting you so clear, but I think you've passed your message.
Yes.
I think you've passed the message.
Let me answer this.
Okay.
It's very important. He has raised a very good
Yeah,
point.
you cannot give what you don't have.
You cannot give what you don't have. But what I'm saying is that we have what we are giving because we have proof over the years. Now, lecturers are monitored and disciplined. We've had cause to send lecturers away punitively because of harassment of students, sexually or extorting money. It is there in the university system. The thing is that we are dealing with it very effectively.
And you do this secretly, right?
Not secretly, not. Because if you look at, once we expel you, we put it in the university information system, and if you Google, Nanyuka University, expel students, you see.
Now, one thing that I want
or
to
expelled
know,
lecturers.
one thing I want to know, when you talked about issuing certificates as regards to character and learning,
yes.
Have there been any students over the years that have been denied certificate because they lack character?
We had issued, in the past, we had a situation where we issued a certificate and we had to withdraw it.
Okay, you issued, but you later withdrew.
Yes.
Withdrew it because
We
you
withdrew it.
conducted investigation on what?
There was ongoing investigation that was not concluded.
Okay.
And that certificate was erroneously issued. And we had to recover the certificate. It's by writing a letter and cancelling it. If the employer writes us to verify a particular certificate, we will say, sorry, we did not issue it. We issued it in error. The certificate does not exist.
Okay, here is the thing now. In this case, there been this issuance of certificates through character and learning. Is it just for the university sphere? Is it just while you're in the university? What if you graduate from the university, get your results, your certificate in character and learning, but somehow you're found wanted?
Even when you have left and you bring the name of the university to public ridicule, the university reserves the right to withdraw the certificate. But it's rare. It's rarely done.
That's what I wanted to ask. Has there been an issue like that?
It's rarely done. But in some cases, we have had to do that.
Right, quickly.
Let me come to you. You know, somebody, the last caller, John Paul, mentioned that peer group influence is one of the factors that makes students to be behaving anyhow, to have bad character in the institution. Do you think it's one of the factors that contribute to that?
Yes. Yes, okay. Definitely.
Have you had experience, or you've probably seen someone who's gone through that?
No, I've had an experience.
Tell us, share.
Okay. It happened like this. Then some people wanted to stay in the school hostel. There was this new hostel that came out, a Malda hostel. It was quite expensive, but a lot of people wanted to be there because of the expensive lifestyle and so many of freedom. Okay. And it was that beautiful. Of course, I wouldn't deny the fact that it wasn't beautiful. So, but you see, at that time, maybe probably I didn't have enough money, but I wanted to stay there because a lot of my friends were there. And why were they there? Because they wanted this beauty, this pleasantry, all this kind of expensive things. When you come to the classroom, you show off, I stay in a Malda. Everybody will be like, wow, you stay in a Malda. That was the feeling. So at some point, my peers, they were trying to push me to do something I wouldn't do ordinarily, just to raise the money to pay for the hostel, which was against my parents' wish. Yes, because there was a particular amount of money given to me to pay for my accommodation. So why would I go against that? That's disobedience in the first place. And so I was being influenced, kind of. I was being influenced. And that's wrong. So I would also say,
back to the Amelda.
Yes, I'll tell you the truth. I packed
How
it.
did you make the money?
That's a question. Yes, I made the money because I had to source it out.
Okay.
Finally, from my parents. But I convinced them wrongly. Which is wrong. I wouldn't say that's right. So I was influenced, but along the line,
you learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson. Because one, listening to my lecturers, my guardian at that time, made me to understand that what I did was wrong and it shouldn't be repeated. So I learned from that, and I actually taught others that you don't live above your means.
Okay.
You see?
That's good.
So you learned from your own mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And other people also.
You taught a lot of people. Yes. Okay. But you know the situation, most people, they don't really learn from that. They keep on making the mistake over and over again. And once you've joined that group of, you want to show off, you want people to know that you are the happening babe in school or happening guy in school. You keep on making the same mistake.
The greatest challenge, just like she said, is the peer group influence in the university. You see a very good boy in year 1. By year 3, the boy has changed so much. Maybe he has 1 or 2 friends who are wayward. It influences him, especially if what he picked from the house, from the home, was not strong enough. Now, you were asking about certain things. About graduates when we graduated.
Yes.
In 1982, when I was in the university, meal was served almost free. Free food, 1/4 of a chicken. But look at how the young people are suffering. The economy is terrible, very bad. The hostel, then every student lived in the hostel, except if you decide not to. But here, we have only 25% accommodation for our students.
Then
How about the 75%?
That is to say that we have a lot of people that want to acquire.
That means that enough fund is not coming from the government to build the public universities. We need more funds to build the public universities.
So,
infrastructure deficit is a major problem in the university. During the 13th convocation ceremony, about 17 projects were commissioned. Classrooms. There was a time a public commentator sent me a photo, showing students standing while they were taking lectures.
Okay.
Do you know the reason? 1,200 students were supposed to take that lecture. But there is no hall in Unizik that can take 1,200 students at a go.
I understand.
Why admit that much?
That's the question.
No, from this, not from the same department. It's a general course.
But
like English language.
No, you know the capacity of your hall. Why admit that much when you know that you have about maybe 800 capacity hall that will take? It's a GS course.
It is not about admitting.
Okay, it's about.
It is not about admitting, because in English department we only admit about 80. But we are telling you that even if you are in engineering or medicine or any course, you must take English language course.
All right.
That is what I mean, that all the students come together. To take that course.
Time is really running out. I've got like 2 more questions to ask you.
Okay.
Why is the involvement of parents and the community in partnering education, why is it important?
That is what is called university-town relationship.
Okay.
We have a lot of good relationship with our communities, Amansi community, Oka community, Ifite. Okay. We liaise with the traditional institution so that if there are misunderstandings between the students and the community, we quickly settle it so that it does not go out of control. And so far, it has been quite good. From time to time, during ceremonies, you can see us invite the Ezuzu or invite the Igwe of Amansi or invite Igwe of Nnewi, where our campuses are sited. They come and we try to make sure that we maintain a cordial relationship.
Okay, you mentioned that the funds are not really enough that's coming from the government coffers.
Yes.
So do you try to engage other stakeholders, well-being stakeholders that have the cash to help in building this project?
The Department of Mass Communication was built by Senator Andy Oba in memory of the father. There are quite a whole lot of other projects, but all you need to know is that the university is a big community. That's 36,000 students.
Okay, you've been talking about Unizik. What's the ideal situation in every other universities in Nigeria? What's the ideal situation as regarding to upholding character and learning?
In the course of my work, I have toured the world. I've gone to the US, I've gone to China. We have over 500 students on scholarship in China right now. The universities are fantastic. Because of the challenges of inadequate funding in the tertiary education system in Nigeria, is a long way. But whatever we have, we are managing. But the government, this is why sometimes also will be on strike. And because they are asking for more money. In fact, these projects that have just been commissioned was got from the last strike. Government released money. So it seems as government will not release money unless you strike. So sometimes the academic staff will strike so that we receive money.
We have to run. We have to run. There's no time. So quickly, Blessing, quickly tell us, what's your advice to young students, graduates, people who are in school? What advice do you have to them as regarding upholding, good character and learning in the university?
Okay. My advice is actually this. Young ones, graduates, you must have a philosophy about life. It's high time we actually listen to our parents, elderly ones. Take what we think is good for us. Look around the society and tell ourselves what we really want for ourselves. Go after it. Make sure you put God above everything you ever want in this life. And the sky is just your starting point.
All right, from you, Dr. Emmanuel Ojugu, quickly before we go, your advice. Graduates, lecturers, government?
My advice is that students generally in tertiary education will continue to work hard as parents who are also teachers in the university to mold the students. And I advise the lecturers to see those young ones as their children. Because once you see a young child as your child, the way you treat the person will change. So no amount of misbehavior will throw you up in society. You have to behave well so that you will have a better society.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Emmanuel Ojukwu, Director, Information and Public Relations, Anambra University. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I'm beautiful Blessing Okechukwu, a graduate of the same Anambra University. Thank you so much for coming too.
Thank you. And you are a graduate of university.
All right, and to our wonderful viewers this morning, many thanks also for being a part of this discussion today. It's been fun throughout, and I know a lot of people tried to call. Sorry, we do apologize if we didn't pick your call. I come back tomorrow because we'll still be here tomorrow. My name is Chidinma Oranwa. Many thanks so much for being with us today.
We're going to, just to let you know, at 9 o'clock over time for this morning news, 15 past 9, we're taking you through around the world of sports. Many thanks for joining us. Good morning.